And obviously, I, as a home executive, a housewife, am very concerned because already I've been hearing talks about oil prices, cooking oil prices going through the roof. As I said a few minutes ago on the show, that Ramadan is around the corner, and we do use a lot of cooking oil during this month. So we are pretty worried. Apart from the cooking oil, I'm also wondering about the petrol prices and gas prices. But I guess this morning we're going to be focusing really on edible oils. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program, and a nice talking to you.
Good day, Julie, and the listeners of Salam Media. Thank you very much for inviting us. Yes, as you mentioned, the Willowton Group will be hosting a webinar today, the 9th of March at 15:30, titled What's Putting a Strain on Oil Prices? Our guest speaker is Thomas Milker of the Oil World publication. Thomas will be joining us out of Germany, and he has close to 50 years institutional experience on the category. To your point, the conflict in Eastern Europe has compounded an already challenging situation within the vegetable oil complex due to several reasons. As a leading producer of branded vegetable oils like Sunfoil, Delight, Crown, amongst others, we feel that it's important to keep our valued customers and consumers informed. There are a lot of rumor mongering going around, there are a lot of posts on social media, and we urge you not to be caught up in that hysteria. Join us today at 15:30. Salam Media will be live streaming the event from 15:30 onwards. Should you be unable to attend, there will be a YouTube link going up on Salam Media's Facebook page approximately 24 to 48 hours after the event for them to listen at your leisure. We would urge you to stay tuned to be informed and empowered, as the impact, as Julie mentioned, is going to be felt at the pump and at the supermarket shelves from a pricing perspective. From a Willowton Group perspective, we are invested in ensuring that your favorite oil, margarine, and soap brands remain in stock, God willing. Yes, oil prices will be moving up. They have been moving up over the last 18 to 24 months. And whilst this conflict continues, there is going to be no respite. But we are making every effort as a business to limit the damage, pricing damage, as best as we can. Thank you, Julie.
So, Deon, and I know that you don't want to give away too much on the show this morning. You would much prefer people to tune in to the webinar this afternoon, and it is open to all. The question then is, and I'll ask you for those details in a few minutes, how people then hook up to to the webinar. Alternatively, then try and get the podcast a little later on. You've kind of confirmed my fears regarding my opening statement. And the one important question is, are we going to see a situation of possibly panic buying regarding edible oils is concerned? We can't, as far as diesel fuel, etc., we can't buy large volumes and store them. That's just not practical at all. But in terms of edible oils, you think we're going to see something like that happening? Or on the other hand, would you kind of just be cautious to say stock up, but reasonably, just see that you have enough stocks to keep you going for the next couple of months, so to speak?
Yeah, we would definitely say that people must buy responsibly. I think I picked up a line here, humanitarian radio. I think we must think about our neighbors, and it's very important to purchase responsibly. As I said, God willing, we invested in ensuring that your favorite oil brands will continue to be on shelf. Yes, at a higher price, but we saw a lot of mad panic buying at the onset of COVID, and we expected the worst. As human beings, we somehow find solutions to challenging situations. And in this instance, we don't think that the challenges are insurmountable, concerning, and they are grave. There's loss of life, and it is putting challenges on the supply chain. But buy responsibly. There's no need to go out and buy for 6 months.
Okay, so Deon, people are opportunists, and you do find, and I guess you kind of don't blame, very especially the smaller business person, that they see this as an opportunity to make a quick buck. And even before the prices go up from the supplier, you'd find smaller business or even retail stores realizing that there's an issue of high demand, and they put up their prices, and in some instances astronomically high. Do we have a case as far as fair trade practices are concerned, or do we just have to fork out and get what we believe we need?
Julie, I think it's, you're making a very valid point, and I think the authorities in our country, the Competition Commission, are very alive to price gouging. And we saw how swiftly they acted during the onset of the COVID restrictions. And I certainly believe that our leading customers are certainly committed ensuring that the consumer gets fair value at the shelf. And as I said at the onset, oil pricing has been moving for the last 24 to 18 months. And I think by and large, the retail and the independent wholesale channel have been trading reasonably responsibly regard to promotional pricing. In fact, one or two retailers have invested significantly to stay competitive.
That's good news indeed. Okay, so how do people sign up for this webinar starting this afternoon at 15:30? And it's entitled, What's Putin? A Strain on Oil Prices. I love the play on the word there, obviously referring to Vladimir Putin.
My understanding, Julie, is that the technical team at Salah Media will be putting up a link on your Facebook page today, and your listeners can go onto your Facebook page and they'll be able to downstream the webinar.
Okay, Deon Calthorpe, thank you indeed for talking to us, for allaying our worst fears and suggesting that common sense should prevail. We shouldn't get greedy. We shouldn't get caught up in panic buying. Be reasonable. Think about your neighbor. Be humanitarian in your approach to the situation, and inshallah, things will come. We hope for a positive outcome as far as the invasion on the Ukraine is concerned, and things hopefully return to normal sooner rather than later. Thank you for your time. Go well. And we will be, tuning into that webinar. That was Deon Calthorpe, Managing Executive at Willowton Group, talking about obviously the price of edible oils and obviously diesel, petrol, gas, etc. That's another story. They don't deal with that, but obviously there is going to be an effect on those prices as well. It's a webinar called What's Putin? A Strain on Oil Prices. 8:59, stand by. In a minute or two, we're going to be talking with Dr. Malloy about part 3 of the state capture report.
Allah, Allah, shukr ya Allah,
Walhamdulillah.
Subhanallah.